PK in the universe, and I am back again with another video. And today I'm here to talk about the Wii U and 3DS eShop. You might be watching this before March 27th, and you know what? The eShop is closing, and that's really unfortunate. And you might be watching this after the eShop is closing, so I'm here to talk to you maybe about games you've already missed out or games you still could get, just depending on when you're watching this video. So here we go. So this is a video where I'm going to talk about two really specific developers I think you should buy all their games basically that you can from them. And then I'm going to talk about some honorable mentions at the end. First up, Sungrand Studios, who makes the Silver Falls games. Jarrell Dulé is this one-man band guy. You know, he's just one guy who literally just makes everything, you know, of these Silver Falls games. He, you know, publishes these games, self-publishes, develops, does the music for them. I mean, he does everything. It's insane. About a year ago when the eShop was announced to be closed, he said, I'm going to do something great. I'm going to try to make as many Wii U and 3DS games as possible so we can all enjoy these games and celebrate the end of the Wii U, you know, eShop and 3DS eShop. Without, you know, this isn't, you know, it sucks when game shops close, when any kind of online store closes. So he wanted to do something nice, actually. You know, he should have probably just made Nintendo Switch games, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to make Wii U and 3DS games. So I want to go over what some of those are. First up, we have the most expensive one, which is White Inside Its Umbra, which is a Wii U exclusive. You can't play this on Nintendo Switch. This would not work on Nintendo Switch. Now, the story mode has no save feature at all. In fact, it's designed to be completed in one sitting. There's like a free roam thing. You really take advantage of that Wii U gamepad. That Wii U gamepad, you need that, and you need like a Wii remote or whatever, and you can use the nunchuck or whatever, or something like that. There's a lot of different control options, and in the multiplayer mode there's a balance board option. My friend Coolity actually made a really good review of this game, so I would highly recommend checking out his review. I felt like that review deserved so many more views for as good as it was. It's really short and concise and tells you exactly what you need to know about the game. So definitely go check out Coolity's video on White Inside Its Umbra. Silver Falls Undertakers. This is a game that's both on 3DS and the Wii U. It is a love letter to the Atari 2600. Also, it pays a little homage to E.T. because there's a part in the game where you can actually fall in pits. But it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty funny when that happens. In fact, it's significant to the game. So I think, yeah, the Wii U version is the definitive version. It's got multiplayer and some different things about it. So yeah, definitely go check out that. Definitely recommend the Wii U version over the 3DS version, but you can't go wrong with either version of this game. Silver Falls Ghoul Busters. This game is, you know, GB as in Game Boy, because it does, you know, pay homage to the classic monochrome Game Boy of yesteryear. It's a side-scrolling action platformer game. And originally this was going to be only on 3DS, but a lot of people in Europe really wanted this game, and unfortunately there's a lot of problems with Nintendo of Europe, and basically they stopped taking submissions. So Jarrell was like, hey, I'm going to actually, you know, get this on Nintendo Switch. So it is also available on Nintendo Switch, not just in Europe, but in North America as well. But I would still recommend getting the 3DS version. But if you don't have a 3DS, definitely check it out on Switch. And the final game on the 3DS actually is Silver Falls Deathly Delusion Destroyers, or DDD as in 3DS, you know, I get it. It also comes with a bonus game called Ruby River. It's a unique RPG where you hold the console portrait style, which to me makes it perfect for the 2DS. We won't see this game on Nintendo Switch. Now, Ruby River is an open-world survival crafting game. Could we see a remaster of this on Switch? I mean, anything's possible. There are also two new 3DS games. There's 3 Down Stars, which was the first Silver Falls game on console. And then there's Silver Falls Guardians and Metal Exterminators. Those are the two new 3DS games. I do not have a new 3DS, so I can't really speak to those games, but they look pretty cool. Also, if you go to the Silver Falls website, there actually are some free games. Yes, actual free games that you can just download. There's a Galaxy Bound Curse, and that's actually a Game Boy Color game that was made in GB Studio, and eventually it's going to get a Nintendo Switch port, which is going to be a deluxe version, so it's going to be a final version of the game. There's also Frontier Fighter Mini, and that's a Windows game, and you can actually play it on your like Anbernic devices and stuff like that. And it's a RPG. I'm a huge fan of the works of H.P. Lovecraft. I love the whole story of like a sleepy little town that's got something really wrong going on. So the Silver Falls games are really right up my alley. I really respect what Jarrell Dulé has done. It's just absolutely unbelievable, the work he put in. These games are worth buying, okay? You know, considering how much passion he had for these games and how hard he worked. You know, I've been following his YouTube channel, which he talks a lot about his game dev experience and all the hard work he had to do, and it's just unbelievable. It's like crazy that somebody would have done this. Most people, again, would have just made Switch games. You know, that makes way more financial sense. Instead, he made games that people have very limited amount of time to play and buy. Well, to buy, not to, they'll still be able to play it once they get them, but yeah, I absolutely recommend it. If you haven't, you know, it's too late. Let's say you're watching this and it's too late. I definitely recommend checking out his other projects. And he's gonna have more games on the Nintendo Switch coming out, so definitely check out those for sure. So I talked about Jarrell Dulé, who is the last Wii U and 3DS game developer. But I want to talk about somebody who is the last pure Wii U developer, as in they've only ever made games for the Nintendo Wii U. That's right, I'm here to talk about Ultra Dolphin Revolution. Yes, they do have a game that's eventually going to come out on Switch, but it has not been released during the time of the Wii U's eShop existence. They started out putting games out in, like, I want to say 2016, so the Wii U was already pretty irrelevant at that point, but they kept putting them out, and they made their very last one recently. And it was, I think it was the Shadow Archer Special, I want to say was what it was called. If you have a Wii U and you like 8-bit style NES-looking games, Ultra Dolphin Revolution might interest you, so I want to talk quickly about some of their games. Well, first up you have Space Hunted and Space Hunted The Lost Levels, which is the harder version of the game. And basically it's a single screen experience. You play as Jade Hunter, and you basically have to escape aliens and shoot stuff, and you get a blaster that looks like a Nintendo gun, and sometimes you wear like this helmet looks like something Samus or the Mandalorian would wear or something. And basically, yeah, it's a single screen shooting platforming game, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. It's also super challenging. These games are very challenging from Ultra Dolphin Revolution. And then you have the Shadow Archer trilogy, which has Shadow Archer, Shadow Archery, Shadow Archer Special. The basic premise of the Shadow Archer games is basically you're a character who looks kind of like Link from Legend of Zelda, but you're shadowy, of course, and you shoot hordes of enemies with a bow and arrow. In a nutshell, that's the games. But the Shadow Archery game's a little bit different because it's actually, weirdly enough, it's two kinds of games. You can use the touchpad to shoot the enemies, or you can actually use a Wii remote, and you can put it like use like a Wii light gun style thing, and that's pretty darn cool. Then there's the Assistant trilogy, which has got like Spellcaster's Assistant, Sinister Assistant, Seasonal Assistant, and all these games have a similar looking protagonist, but they all play just a little bit differently. Especially like Seasonal Assistant, you know, is more like action based, and Spellcaster's Assistant is more puzzle based, and yeah, they're all a lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out. Very challenging too, you know. And Sinister Assistant's got a real Halloween theme. I wish they had made a Thanksgiving themed one. I actually had suggested that at one point. I thought one of the Shadow Archer games would have been perfect for that, you know, hunting turkeys. But yeah, really enjoyed the Assistant trilogy. Captain U. This is a game I actually have a cameo in, believe it or not. And this is one of those games. It's, you know, it looks very Mario-esque, and it takes full advantage of the Wii U gamepad, so this is never coming to Switch. Sorry if you were hoping that was coming to Switch. It ain't gonna happen. Maybe there'll be a Captain Switch. I don't know. And finally, last but not least, Super Ultra Star Shooter. This is one of those games, when they first announced it, they were like, this is going to be our last Wii U game. And then they put out a bunch more Wii U games after that. But this game is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, and you play as this green cat, and he shoots stuff, and he's like gets cheeseburgers and stuff like that. It's freaking fantastic. They are currently working on a Switch game, but I don't know a whole lot about it. I got like a Smash Brothers kind of feel from it. You know, it's like some type of like battle type game, but it looks pretty interesting. if you didn't get these Wii U games, definitely I would recommend supporting them in any future project. So that's Ultra Dolphin Revolution. Like I said, if you love 8-bit style games and you still have a Wii U and it's not after March 27th, I would recommend checking these games out. All right, now we're here for honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, the Kemco RPGs. There are a bunch of Kemco RPGs on the 3DS eShop. Now, some of these games are actually exclusive to the 3DS eShop. That means they're not on Nintendo Switch. That's what I mean when I say that. They could be on other platforms, but they are not on Nintendo Switch. They could be on mobile, or Mac, or actually one example is Sword of Hope 2 is actually on Game Boy. A lot of these games are only on the 3DS eShop, so these games might be worth getting if you want to play them on any kind of console whatsoever. And they're a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. Okay, they're the kind of games you save for a rainy day when you just have an itch to start an RPG. And yes, they have a reputation for being very derivative, and people joke, once you played one Kemco RPG, you've played them all. And it's like, yeah, I get it. They do look very, very similar. I mean, some of their games are kind of unique, and I would advise you guys go look them up and decide for yourself if they're for you personally. But I really like them, and they're super cheap. The most expensive one of these 10 Kemco RPGs that are not on Nintendo Switch is Grinzia, which is $10. That's the most expensive one right now at the time of this recording. And I think that was one of the very first ones that went to 3DS, actually. But the majority of them at the time of this recording are on sale for $5 now, so they might be worth picking up just because it's such a good price. The cheapest one, of course, is Sword of Hope 2, which actually originally was a Game Boy game, and it's $3. But the thing, too, about it is that game, for a physical copy, is actually really expensive right now. I think it's like over $100. So, hey, it might be worth it just to grab for $3, because it's cheap, it's easy, and it's there. Some people say that turn-based RPGs are dead, but hey, Kemco keeps putting them out, so I always have this joke that I said that I'd rather have $40 worth of Kemco RPGs than one really awesome RPG, and you know what? I stick by that. I absolutely stick by that. I think if you want a nice little variety of RPGs to save for a rainy day, yeah, grab these. I think they're worth the time and money. So, Gunman Clive 1 and 2 are on the 3DS. Now, I actually have the Gunman Clive HD collection on Wii U, but I did grab these two because the creator of these games actually had tweeted out that there are actually 75 million 3DSs out there that have never had either Gunman Clive 1 or 2 on them, so it might be a good idea to buy them now. And guess what? They're only like $2 each at the time of this recording, so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go grab those. Even though I already have them on the Wii U, I'll grab them. It's also on Nintendo Switch too, so consider supporting it that way if you're watching this video after March 27th. Fragrant Story and Odasan, who are both games by William Cage. These games, I don't know a lot about them, honestly. I did a video on Odasan actually very recently. Yeah, and that's $1. I felt like that was worth the risk. Eventually, that's going to be an Earthbound style game once they do the updates. And there's actually a web browser version of the game you can actually play that's just a lot more detailed. But this is one of those, they had to get their foot in the 3DS door before it was too late. I think Fragrant Story is more of the same kind of situation but it's a turn-based, like it's supposed to be like Final Fantasy Tactics kind of game, but not obviously that. But a lot of people, I guess, were very angry about that game initially because apparently it was only 15 minutes long when it first dropped on the 3DS eShop, and people were not happy about that because maybe they didn't know that. And of course there was a physical release of it too. And but there's an update. They did an update recently, which makes the game much longer, I think. I think I read somewhere that it's like 5 hours long now, and there's going to be more updates, maybe? I don't know. But I thought, you know what? It's a $2 game right now at the time of this recording. $2 to buy it on the eShop. I was like, yeah, that's worth it to me. And finally, I've said this before. I've been tweeting this out quite a bit. Please go download RPG Maker Player, or the RPG Maker Fest Player on 3DS. And there's one particular game I would highly recommend downloading because I've played it quite a bit. I've played it it's a 4-hour game, but I've played it for at least 8 hours, and that is Beasts of Hamelin. and that is a game by Daria Plays RPGs. She's a YouTuber slash, I guess, game maker, honestly, and she's working on some game right now, or maybe she's like toying with the idea of working on a game, but she's been messing around with NES Maker, and she's been posting tweets of, screen caps of that. So maybe she'll make a project in the future, who knows? But this game she made is actually quite good. I think she spent like 300 hours making it, give or take. And it's a 4-hour RPG. It's got some real quirky writing. But if you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of time, and always wanted to play an RPG, this might be a good one. I thought at the beginning it was kind of a little bit tough, but east, you got to go east first in the game. I went south, and that didn't work out so well for me. I got killed like instantly. But if you go east, the game works better. But yeah, I played this game. I beat it. I think I got like 3 endings at least. There's multiple different endings. And it's a good little story. Definitely worth checking out for sure. I can actually speak to this game. I would love to have done a review of it, but maybe it's too late now to do a review. I don't know, but in fact, if I was going to do a review, I'd probably play it all over again, honestly. I got a kick out of this game. It was a lot of fun. It's probably one of the best free RPGs I've ever played. Yeah, it's totally 100% free. You just got to download RPG Maker Player. And then search for Beasts of Hamelin or Daria, and you'll find the game. There's some other games too, actually, on RPG Maker Player. There's a bunch I've downloaded, but I don't know anything about, so maybe one of these days I'll go look through there and find some real surprise little gem there. Who knows? And there's just one more thing I gotta talk about. Gotta bring this up because somebody, you know who you are. You know who you are. Somebody's gonna bring up this comment, so I gotta say something about it. Somebody's gonna be like, just pirate everything. Just pirate everything. Did you know about piracy? It's like, no crap. Everybody knows about piracy. Oh, did you know you could pirate 3DS games? Of course. People have known that for like over 5 years. That's not new information. Just because you're saying it, it doesn't mean it's new information. It's like, I get it. Some people just want to rail against Nintendo. Totally understandable. After all, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They don't really care about people. They just want to make money. I get it. But do you want to rail against indie devs? Do you want to rail against the people like Jarrell of Silver Falls games or the Ultra Dolphin Revolution games? I mean, come on, man. I get it if you don't have the money. And I even get it if you're watching this well after the fact where you can't even buy the games anymore. But the people who are like, I'm so cool, I'm pirating games. It's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're pirating games. Just do it. You don't need some moral justification to pirate games. But the people who brag about it are so freaking weird. Like nobody cares. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I get that we all have different morals and, a lot of people feel differently about piracy. Some people think it's jaywalking and some people think you should get the death penalty for piracy. I don't know. People have different ideas. I get it. I think it's like jaywalking, honestly. Everybody does it, but it's technically illegal. But at the same time, I would never want to, take away anything from an independent developer. I am all about promoting indie devs. I would rather promote an indie dev for the same reason I'd rather promote a small business than promoting Amazon. But yeah, obviously I buy it from Amazon. Obviously I buy, first-party Nintendo games. We all buy from different places and different things. But at the end of the day, I'd rather support a small indie dev. So don't give me that whole piracy. Just pirate everything. Like, nobody cares. So, sorry for the little rant at the end here, but I just wanted to say that because that is just such an annoying comment. So freaking annoying. So, but anyways, what are your thoughts? Have you heard of any of these games that I've talked about? Are you watching this video before or after March 27th? And, if you have played any of these games, what'd you think about them? Comment below. Love to hear what you have to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got the games you wanted and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks. Bye.